Imagine you are in medieval Japan learning how to be an awesome swordsman when all of a sudden you get teleported to a castle full of white folks and told that you have to complete a monumental task to get back home. Hey everybody, I'm Yusef, and today we look at a slavery hostage situation story filled with elemental powers, entitled villagers, and sword-swinging action. This is Brave Fencer Musashi. We start in All-You-Can-Eat Kingdom. The palace is under attack because the king is gone. The only people left to take care of the castle is Princess Filet and the royal subjects. Already, things have gotten out of hand, and the princess and the subjects are retreating to the ceremony room in the basement. They arrive to find that the Benchotite gem is huge. Apparently, the castle has a failsafe for when there is too much trouble. They can use the power of the Benchotite to summon a hero from somewhere, and this hero has been foretold to be Brave Fencer Musashi. So, excited to meet him, the princess performs the ceremony and boom! Brave Fencer Musashi. Everyone is surprised because Musashi is so small. I don't know if that is a sly commentary of how short Japanese people are compared to, Europeans. So anyway, Musashi has no idea where he is, but he knows that he wants to be back where he was. The, flamboyant scholar tells Musashi that he is a hostage, and unless he saves All-You-Can-Eat Kingdom before the Benchotite gem runs out of power, he will die. That has got to be a problem with the translation, right? Even though it makes sense, it's a little dark. Anyway, before he can be mad about being enslaved, they hand him a sword called Fusion, push him out of the door, and tell him to go to the Spiral Tower to get the legendary sword Lumina. Musashi is ready to go back, so he pieces out before they even finish talking to him. Fusion is a cool sword that lets you steal abilities from people. You basically throw it at someone, and it sucks in their life essence completely, leaving nothing left. It then transfers the most prominent skill in its purest form to the wielder. It's called assimilation. So Musashi gets to the top of the tower, grabs Lumina, and accidentally sets off an Indiana Jones style trap that sends him back to the castle in record time. When he gets back, he sees that Princess Filet is now being held hostage by a redneck named Root Trick. I bet if they weren't threatening Musashi with death, he would have just walked right out the door. Root Trick says that he will trade the princess for Lumina, but Musashi is like, nah fam, this sword is worth more than that aggravating princess any day. The princess tries to tell Musashi just to kill the dude, but Root Trick, tired of the princess's mouth, pops her in the tummy and knocks her butt out.
Aw, shucks! Shut up, you dumb gal, or else y'all gonna get a licking!
Well, he is a redneck. And then he disappears with the princess. Sometimes video games and cartoons give people the ability to teleport. It is a game-breaking ability. If you are the hero, the best they can do is teleport you like 5 miles outside your destination. But the bad guys have teleporters that can put them in your bathroom while you are reading a magazine on the toilet. So, with Root Trick gone, the bad guys send a big robot to terrorize the town, but Musashi destroys it and falls asleep. I guess it takes a lot out of the guy. Later, Musashi wakes up in his own bed at the castle. The butler is there. Musashi is like, yo, do I have to save that annoying princess too? Of course he does, because she is the one that summoned him. More to the point, forget about the princess. Musashi has the sword Lumina. The legend says that he uses Lumina to gain the power of the 5 elemental scrolls: Earth, Wind, Fire, Water, and Sky, and defeats the Dark Wizard. The Thirstquencher Empire wants to use the Dark Wizard to take over the kingdom. There is also a matter of the Thirstquencher Empire trying to slow down Musashi's progress by capturing 40 people, putting them in bento fields, and scattering them all over the kingdom. Bento fields aren't really explained, but Musashi can break them with Lumina. With that, Musashi heads out to work for his freedom. Now, before we go any further, Musashi's time is held up a lot because the people in All-You-Can-Eat Kingdom are super entitled. Maybe they know that he's a slave here to save the kingdom. Nevertheless, they waste no time being as helpless as possible and using Musashi to get out of doing absolutely anything. The writers are pretty skilled in that they made every pointless filler quest relative in some way to the main mission. But at the same time, they were pretty bad because it wasn't always clear that doing something would benefit Musashi until he completed the task. Just to illustrate my point, right off the bat, you have no idea where to go. Musashi tries to leave the town but is blocked off. The man guarding the place says the mayor is the only one who can let him through. Musashi goes to the mayor's house, and the mayor won't give him any info about the 5 scroll locations unless Musashi finds the town dog, which so happens to be in that blocked off area. Musashi agrees and brings the dog back. The mayor says he doesn't know anything about the 5 scrolls, but a guy locked up on the edge of the town does. Musashi goes to the edge of the town and finds a man who is like, "I would help you out, but I'm hungry. I want bread and water." So Musashi has to get him bread and water separately. He can buy bread, but he needs to get the water from the well, and he can't do that during the day because the 2 ladies are having water cooler conversation in front of it. Musashi doesn't know how to tell them to get out of the way, so he has to wait until nighttime when they both go home. The whole game is like this. Obviously, I will try to skip the pointless stuff. The locked up man is named John the Treasure Hunter. The dog Musashi rescued is his dog, and for some weird reason, the key to the locks are hidden in a graveyard. Is he locked up for an actual reason? No one knows. When John is freed, he tells Musashi to meet him at the top of Twin Peak Mountain with 5 logs. Musashi finds out when he gets there that he has to use the logs to ride the rapids back down the mountain to get one of the 5 legendary armors, the L Brace. Musashi can climb walls now. When Musashi leaves, the mayor tells him the steam plant is being overpressured and the administrator is a lazy, good-for-nothing dummy who has never read the manual. So Musashi goes there, handles that, and discovers it was Root Trick's doing. Musashi heads to Twin Peak Mountain again to see what his problem is. He catches up to Root Trick to see he is trying to get up a mountain to get a scroll. Once he lets that slip, Musashi and he race up the mountain. Of course, Musashi wins and kicks Root Trick off the mountain. We could have asked Root Trick about the princess, but I think it's more important to kick him off the mountain and don't ask him anything, right? Gotta get those digs in. Musashi grabs the Earth Scroll. Once he does, Lumina tells him that in order to have the full power of the scroll, he must defeat the CREST Guardian, but conveniently stops talking when Musashi asks where it is. Also, the Lumina says nothing else for the rest of the game. It's very weird. Anyway, John tells Musashi the CREST Garden is in Hell's Valley. The butler tells Musashi that he needs 4 specific people to open Hell's Valley. Musashi gets those 4 people, enters Hell's Valley, and fights Skullpion, the CREST Guardian. Defeating the CREST Guardian doesn't really make you stronger. It actually just allows you to open crests with the corresponding symbol lying on the ground. They don't really have much to do with the story, so I won't be mentioning them too much. Back at the Thirstquencher Empire, the leader, Führer Flatsky, is complaining about Rutrick not getting the scroll. A woman named Bubbles ensures him that they will stop Musashi by something called Mission Vampy. Bubbles' sister, Ginger Ale, shows up to be all snarky. Führer Flatsky then reveals that he's the new emperor, and there is also a man called Colonel Capricola there as well. A side note, in the original version, all the bad guys were named after alcohol instead of soda. So I guess it would be Führer Jägermeister or something. I find it very interesting that the game isn't mature enough for the people to be named after alcohol, but we're going to pull Musashi in to be a slave for a bunch of folks who live in a castle and tell him that if he doesn't save the castle, he's gonna die. Nothing about saving everybody else. It's just he's gonna die. That's not very dark. However, it's too much to name the characters after alcohol, you know. I guess one of them's rum, one sister's rum, and the other sister's Coke or something. You know what I mean? Whatever. So, Musashi gets back and the villagers run up on him saying that a boy, Tim, was bitten by a vampy. In order to cure Tim, they need Aqualin from Twin Peak Mountain and Mysteria from the Bencho-type mines. The man that owns the hotel, appropriately named Hotello, goes to Twin Peak and Musashi goes to the mines. Wow, Hotello really manned up right there. Maybe the village isn't so bad after all. Musashi gives the Mysteria flower to the mayor and, of course, finds out that Hotello hasn't come back. So now he has to find Hotello and save Tim. Musashi finds Hotello cowering in a corner, ready to let Tim die and blaming it on fate. So much for manning up. Musashi is nice enough to get the Aqualin and give it to Hotello so he could look manly back at the village. Our secret, you wuss.
You're well already. That remedy is good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. The mayor and and Hotello saved me. Aren't they great? Why don't you try being useful for a change?
When Musashi comes back, Hilda and the store clerk give him an orange for all his hard work. Forget this village, man. Here is my theory. I think that the village is racist. Not to the point where they don't serve Musashi any food, but there's a nuance to it. First, they drag him there against his will and enslave him to save the village pretty much by himself. Then they give him crap for being short because he is Asian. They certainly treat him like he's got nothing better to do but all these mundane tasks. Like everything that happens means the end of the village. Then, that orange? That's basically a crappy tip for great service. On top of that, because he doesn't look older, probably because he's Asian and short, they keep calling him a kid. He never even addresses it, but come on, really? That's racist and ageist. If they knew any other Japanese people, they would tell Musashi he's one of the good ones. So now that Tim is saved, there is a matter of the vampies. Musashi waits until midnight and sees them coming out of the bar. He finds a secret door leading to a huge basement where the owner, Manic, is sitting there drunk and depressed. He apparently thought there would be treasures in the basement, but instead he just let out all the vampies. What a loser. Well, Musashi sees there's a door connected to 4 dungeons. He clears the dungeons and opens the door to find Manic beats him to the treasure. Musashi should have slapped the crap out of him. Whatever, Manic is all mad because the treasure was a crappy belt. He gives it to Musashi without a fight. Musashi gives this greedy man a speech about being so greedy he put Tim in danger. I'm sure that guy will stop being such a jerk now. Yeah, right. Anyway, it turns out that Crusty Belt is one of the legendary pieces of armor. Musashi can double jump now. Once Musashi leaves the appraisers, Manic is in his face again. He's all like, I can't get water from the well, so can you check it out? The rope is in the church, but I'm scared to go in there. Why would that be? Musashi goes to the church and finds a sleeping priest who has locked the gate. Apparently some thieves stole the church bell and ran away. But when the priest chased them outside, someone locked the door behind them. That's a whole lot of WTF. He locked the gate because of the vampies at night, but he hasn't been getting sleep also because he hears noises in the church around 2 a.m. What? The priest is like, you don't believe me? Show up at 2 and then tell me I'm lying. So Musashi shows up at 2 and hears the noises. With the priest's help, Musashi jumps into the church where the bell was stolen. When he gets in, he is greeted by Bubbles, who is so annoying that he likens her to the princess.
I'm Bubbles. Because of my beauty, I won second in the Miss Thirstquencher contest. No autographs, please.
Miss Thirstquencher? Don't you mean the contest for old hags?
How dare you, you little runt! Like just because Sis won first place and I was stuck with second.
Just like the princess. Why are all the women I meet like this?
She orders her soldiers to shoot at Musashi, but the guys are like stormtroopers or something. They hit everything in the church but Musashi. So her second wave plan was to attack with the vampies. They all come at Musashi one at a time like an old kung fu movie. Musashi sees no end to them, but after a while, the sun comes up and shines through the bullet holes made from the troops. Extra crispy vampies. Anyway, Musashi opens the door to let the priest in, and the priest in turn gives Musashi the rope and asks him to fetch the bell from the well. Musashi goes into the well and finds the bell, but also finds the water scroll. He wasn't even really looking for it. I mean, he was, but the people in the village are so needy, the quest for the scrolls has taken the back seat. Fortunately, there is a legend that leads our hero. Musashi takes the scroll and uses its power to get the bell back to the priest. The priest gives Musashi a statue that is a key to the big door in the basement at Manic's bar. After a long dungeon, Musashi walks right into the CREST Guardian's lair, called the Relic Keeper.
Uh-oh, it's starting to move! What a loser! The ceiling's collapsed and he can't move! Geek!
After Musashi beats the Relic Keeper, we see how the princess is doing in Thirstquencher Palace. They tied her up with ropes and put her next to a benchotite, so she uses it to summon another hero to free her. But instead, she summoned Musashi's rival, Kojiro. And Princess Filet tries to tell Kojiro that he can't go home unless he blah blah blah. Kojiro is like,
I am sorry, but I do not have the time. I must challenge Musashi to a duel.
A little mouse girl walking by heard everything and strolls in like, yo, I know where Musashi is. Right this way. Princess, you lame.
Is this a joke? You're not thinking of taking someone else's man, are you?
In the meantime, Musashi heads back down to the well and unlocks the crest, which fills the well back up. Right when he does that, two thugs by the names of Ben, the big dumb one, and Ed, the short stuttering one, come in looking for the bell.
Over here! I hid it underground in a cave. It was real heavy.
Don't worry, Ed. I'll do the rest.
They stole it as an insurance policy because they think that Colonel Capricola will fire them. When Musashi has had enough, he reveals himself and tells them that he already took the bell back to the church. They get all mad and threaten him, you know, the usual, and then they leave. Afterwards, Musashi has no lead, so he goes back to the mayor's house. The mayor is sick, so his wife comes out and makes Musashi interim mayor. She then tells him that the gondola needs to be fixed. Musashi finds the workers and the missing gondola gizmo. The mayor is happy and gives Musashi a calendar? What the hell? The mayor's wife excuses him, and then she gives Musashi rock salt. This village needs better stuff. So, Musashi earlier saw a statue of a slug blocking a path, so he makes his way over there and throws the rock salt at it. The slug shrinks, and Musashi goes in and finds a water crest. Once unlocked, he finds the fire scroll. After the light show is over, who should be standing there but Kojiro, ready to fight? Musashi says that he has better things to do but can't refuse the duel once he sees that Kojiro is holding the princess hostage. They fight and Kojiro loses, and Musashi takes Princess Filet back to the palace. Once back, the butler suggests that Musashi goes after the bell thieves since they are the only lead Musashi has. The 4 mercenaries Musashi saved each had clues to get through the illusion maze in the forest to find the thieves' hideout. Musashi goes into the front doors of a frozen palace and runs into Ginger Ale. She is so into herself that she tells Musashi her name and that the thieves' name is Leader's Force, of which she is not a member. Then she walks away not knowing that she was talking to brave fencer Musashi. Because he is so short, she thinks he's a kid. Her loss. Well, without any clear direction, Musashi explores the palace and finds a room with a pretty cool mural and a statue of a dragon. He hits a switch and ends up in the room where the CREST Guardian is. I didn't even know I was supposed to be looking for it. That's convenient. Anyway, Musashi finishes the Frost Dragon and gains the Fire Crest powers. In the meantime, at Thirstquencher Palace, Colonel Capricola is talking with Leader's Force. He is giving them that old, "You disappoint me, blah blah, how hard can it be, blah blah, found you in the gutter" speech. Apparently, Ginger Ale and Bubbles are out looking for Musashi. Maybe Bubbles should have filled her sister in on what Musashi looks like. And there's one more member of Leader's Force named Topo that is out on a mission. Everyone over there is trying to score some big promotion from Führer Flatsky. When Musashi gets back, every business in the village is complaining that the princess came through and took all the money. The butler says he can't find the princess. Musashi takes the newly made gondola back to the village and sees steam in the air. So Musashi heads for Steamwood to find that worthless administrator lying down on the ground again. Musashi kicks him and he wakes up. Apparently the princess made the admin take her there and then she hit him. So he pushed her inside and took the handle. That's when she flipped out and started messing with Steamwood. Musashi leaves him there and goes inside. Princess Filet doesn't notice him and starts talking to herself about how the Benchotites can be refueled at Soda Fountain because she did something wrong with Steamwood. She pats herself on the back and Musashi asks her why she has a tail. When he pulls on it, She turns into Topo from Leader's Force. The jig is up!
My name's Topo. I guess you already met Ed and Ben. I don't have time to play with you, but next time, I'll make you whimper like a dog.
She threatens him and then does that ninja vanish thing again. All You Can Eat Empire really needs to invest in some scientific research. They are really behind. Thirstquencher has giant steam robots and teleportation. All You Can Eat just has a big gem that will allow them to enslave heroes from distant lands, but only one hero at a time. Anyway, Musashi fixes Steamwood again. Yay for reused footage. Musashi gives the money back to the village, heads into the mines, opens a CREST with Lumina, climbs up, and finds the Wind Scroll. Musashi receives a Wind Scroll. When active, you can resist strong winds by creating cyclones. But as he leaves, he ends up falling off a cliff, into the forest and right in front of the two sisters, Ginger Ale and Bubbles. Musashi is knocked out cold. Ginger Ale is like, "It's that little boy again." And Bubbles is like, "You idiot twat, that's Musashi." But before they can grab Lumina, Musashi wakes up like, "I know you guys," and Bubbles blasts him with a Benchotite field. Dang, now they can't get Lumina. Bubbles follows Ginger Ale to keep her from telling Führer Flatsky. This promotion can't be that great. Benchofield.
Thought I'd be trapped in there forever. Those... So, they really want Lumina, do they? I wonder what happens when Lumina absorbs all 5 scrolls.
Musashi gets back to the village to find that the gondola office is being attacked by a giant ant. The gondola operator left some food in there. By the way, the giant ant legit creeps me out. Maybe it's the PS1 graphics with all the jagged edges, or the fact that it's moving as fast as a normal ant would move, but... ew. So Musashi goes up to the palace and takes the gondola and rams it into the ant. The injured ant goes back home and Musashi follows it deep into the mines until he finds the queen. She is the CREST Guardian, and I'm sure glad the other Guardians weren't shooting out babies. Musashi takes her out and frees the air CREST. Once he gets out, he sees John and his dog, Leno. I don't know why his name isn't Jay, but whatever. John gives Musashi a poem that is a clue to where he can find the last scroll, the Sky Scroll. And John also tells Musashi that the Sky Scroll doesn't have a guardian and that the CREST will be freed immediately. Then he leaves with his dog. Musashi's clue was crappy.
Sure, man. I looked it up in some ancient scriptures. A pillar of wind, day of the sky, tears of God fall on the forest, prodigious tree.
Yes, it's Steve Blum. So Musashi finds a CREST in the forest on Sky Day because it always rains. The CREST shoots him up into the Sky Temple, and there he finds the Sky Scroll. The moment he does, that's when the Thirstquencher Empire's floating fortress, the soda fountain, shows up and connects a pipe to the Sky Temple. Colonel Capricola comes out, congratulates Musashi on getting all 5 scrolls, and tells him to hand it over. Then, when Musashi inquires about the princess, Capricola makes it sound like Führer Flatsky is raping her? I mean, he's taking care of her, if you know what I mean. What the hell is that about? Anyway, Capricola exits and Musashi soon follows through an opening where the pipe came out. Right when he does, that pipe sucks out all the remaining energy in the Sky Temple. And the Sky Temple fall down, go boom. From there, Musashi makes his way past Leader's Force Ben, who thinks he is the leader, Stuttering Ed, who thinks he is the leader, and Topo, who thinks she is the leader. Then Musashi defeated the CREST Guardian, the Tower of Death. Once he does that, the Sky Crest is revealed. Time to see what the fuss is all about. Before Musashi can use Lumina on the crest, Führer Flatsky, with his dumb German accent, comes out with Princess Filet and freezes Musashi in his tracks. Then he orders Colonel Capricola to take Lumina from the midget. We get it. Musashi is short. And Colonel Capricola refuses though, stating that Führer Flatsky killed his parents. Then he spins around like Wonder Woman and reveals that he is... John? Führer Flatsky recognizes him as the true prince of Thirstquencher. Wow! Way to build that twist up there, Squaresoft. Anyway, John pulls out a Glock 9 and aims it at Flatsky like a 90s gangster rapper. Flatsky starts squirming, even though he is still holding the princess hostage, trying to say John's parents' death was an accident. John's not buying it, but it doesn't matter because that idiot Rutrick shoots John? Also, Thirstquencher has guns? I think they're making this takeover way too complicated. With that drama done, Flatsky demands Lumina again. This time Musashi gives it to him, which I don't understand. The princess has literally been a hostage the whole game, and Musashi has always been like, nah fam. But this time he hands it over because, quote, I don't know what's going on anymore. As if he ever knew what was going on. I played the game multiple times and I had not a clue. It's like, what am I doing here? How come they can teleport? Where is your army? You need a sandwich? What the hell are these vampies? I can revive and shrink huge slug statues with table salt? Where do these huge ants come from? What does Steamwood even do? Anyway, now that Flatsky has Lumina and it's fully loaded, he's like, forget this trick! And he cold tosses the princess from 20 feet high onto the metal floor. Thug life. Musashi goes to check on her and she's like, I'm good. Damn, she could have at least acted like the stuff hurt. So Führer Flatsky uses Lumina on the crest and out comes the Wizard of Darkness. Dark Lumina. Führer Flatsky starts rubbing his hands together in anticipation. He points at Musashi like, kill these three. Then, while he's talking smack, Dark Lumina steps on his ass like Monty Python. I wonder if calling him by that name was foreshadowing. He sure is Flatsky now. Yeah, that was bad, sorry. So, while John is bleeding out, he explains that the Wizard of Darkness was inside Lumina and they just freed him. That's why in the past, brave fencer Musashi protected the scrolls with the CREST Guardians. Wait, what? So, I thought this was the legend of this brave fencer Musashi we are now looking at. But another Musashi came before this one and stopped the Dark Wizard? Then said that if all-you-can-eat Empire is in trouble, they should call another Musashi, last name I'm assuming, from his bloodline and then have the newer Musashi use all the legendary armor and the scrolls to accidentally free the Wizard of Darkness and lock him back up again? Where is that game? So John tells Musashi and the princess to get out of there, and just then the Dark Wizard squishes John. Lumina comes back to Musashi by itself, don't ask, and they both haul butt out of there. Throughout the whole game, they keep calling the princess a tomboy. I thought it was because she is loud, but she tells Musashi to follow her, and then she zips off way ahead while Musashi is barely getting away from the Dark Wizard. Musashi gets up to a platform only to find Kojiro? Man, his timing is the worst. He tries to challenge Musashi to a duel, but then the Dark Wizard shows up and assimilates Kojiro to make a new form. Also, the princess gets shot into the sky. Musashi runs after the princess and she's okay. I don't know how, but she's okay. With the princess safe, Musashi fights Dark Wizard Kojiro Lumina and beats him, so there's no more wizard, no more Kojiro, just Dark Lumina. And that, my friends, is 10 pages of plot summary. And here's the ending.
Come on. You got it, you got it, you got it, you got it. You got it, you got it, you got it, you got it. Finally. Jeez. The battle is over. The Wizard of Darkness was once again sealed into Lumina by brave fencer Musashi. The truth about Lumina must be known so that the wizard can never be set free again. Alright. By telling the new story of the legendary brave fencer Musashi.
Because you went on vacation and, left me all alone.
There, my child, you're correct. It is all my fault. I'm awfully sorry. But you didn't have to destroy the castle, dear.
From now on, we will tell you before we take a vacation.
As long as you're sorry. Huh? No, that's not what I mean.
Don't get so upset, my child.
By the way, who is that little person over there?
Oh, him? He saved my life.
Saved your life?
You don't mean that something happened while we were away?
Nothing happened. Right, Ripson?
Yes, other than the princess's party, it doth be very peaceful every day.
See?
Princess, I'm gonna go return this. Back in a flash.
All right, Musashi. Be careful.
That's Lumina, the sword of luminescence.
Oh, gracious me! And the name Musashi. You cannot be...
I'm the legendary brave fencer Musashi. How's it going, old man?
All right, everybody. That was a video game plot summary of Brave Fencer Musashi. This story was very weird. I mean, it was a Squaresoft type of story where a lot of things weren't very answered. Like, first of all, you know, as a 39-year-old adult, you can't give me Steve Blum's voice in John and then put Steve Blum's voice in Colonel Capricola and not have me notice that you're using the same voice actor for both of these characters and not put together that that's the twist. That's why I was all like, hey, way to go, Squaresoft, because it was the same voice. Also, I have to address this, that the thing I said at the beginning was pretty much true. I'm assuming that a lot of Japanese people made this game. It seems to be anime related, so I might be wrong. But what happens if you say it out loud seems a little racist. I know you guys get upset because of this whole political thing. I'm just pointing out what it seems like through my eyes, okay? If I was living in Africa, I guess, I don't know. That's probably a bad analogy. And I got zipped over to a white person's place and told that I have to do something or else I can't go back to Africa. That would sound like slavery to me. I mean, fortunately, in our case, it's we were zipped from Africa to a place with a lot of white folks, and then we couldn't go back, but we were able to live in the place that we were after we got our freedom. So that's a different story. In this case, though, Musashi got brought against his will to a place, told that he had to fight to save all-you-can-eat kingdom, and he didn't have a choice. He was literally enslaved. I mean, he didn't bring it up anymore, because if he kept bringing it up, you know, we would be paying attention to it. We'd know that Brave Fencer Musashi was enslaved. and you know, he made friends with his masters and everything like that, but really he's trying to get his job done, you know. And that's what I think is pretty ill about this game, that he really didn't care about the princess. Everybody irritated the hell out of him, you know. One thing that and I'm jumping subjects here, one thing that I didn't quite get was there was a Musashi that came before him that put the plan in motion. Like, how does that work? So Musashi comes through and he did all this stuff and trapped the dark wizard inside Lumina, right? So then he used the CREST Guardians to protect all the crests. And then when all-you-can-eat kingdom is in trouble of being taken over by the Thirstquencher Empire, who, by the way, should have taken over all-you-can-eat kingdom. They had superior firepower, technology, everything. The only thing that made them not likable was the Führer Flatsky is a Nazi. Like, that's all. Like, the only thing that made you go, oh yeah, those are bad guys, is that you had one German in there. Like, that's how it works, right? So they show you a place with superior technology. It's got a floating castle. It's got helicopter robots. It's got guns. It's got the ability to suck bencho field energy from things to keep this thing flying. And what this other place is, all you can eat kingdom is basically not even a farm place. It's just a small village that barely gets anything done. People are just living from day to day, not doing anything. And their main plan of defense is to summon forth one guy to save the whole kingdom, which worked, but it doesn't make any sense. They should have been taken over. And then when they bring the guy in, they enslave him. They treat him like crap. They tell him he's too short, and they don't like him that much. And then they just keep asking him to do all this crazy stuff. Now, here's the thing that I don't understand. If they hadn't asked him to do a whole bunch of crazy favors, would he still have found the 5 scrolls and completed his mission? Did everybody in the village know that they had a specific job that they had to do in order to get Musashi moving in to the direction that he was supposed to go? Or were they just useless, saw this dude as a slave, and just asked him for a bunch of random things? I mean, this dude was basically the fire department. He was an engineer. He was yeah, for sure. He's a fire department. He was an engineer, because I didn't put the fire in the story, but there was a fire. He was an engineer. He engineered steam wood. He was a missing persons finder. He saved people. He was a police. He basically did every job in that village, because none of those people could do anything. You know what I mean? And that to me, it's like everybody there has a job, but nobody has a job that's worth a damn. You know what I mean? Even the priest. Nobody's going to church. You know, the only reason the church is there is because there's a well, you know, right next to the thing. And on top of that, it's just weird that the church was even in a Japanese video game to begin with. It's so weird. There's like, yeah, we're going to send Musashi to the land of the white people. What do white people have in their villages? A church. It's so crazy to me. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that now. But yeah, the story was a little weird for me, just because as I'm older and I know more about the world, the flags go off in my head. All you can eat kingdom was not impressive. If I were to see a kingdom like that now, I'd think it was a damn joke. Thirstquencher Empire should have smashed. They had soldiers, army, they had all that stuff. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, let me go ahead and shut this down. I'm Yusef for video game plot summaries, and I'm signing off. Peace.